Section 16 of Aspects of Love, an Anthology. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Tony Addison. Songs and Sonnets by John Donne. Witchcraft by a Picture. I fix mine eye on thine, and there pity my picture burning in thine eye, my picture drowned in a transparent tear. When I look lower, I espy. Hadst thou the wicked skill thy pictures made and marred to kill, how many ways mightst thou perform thy will! But now I have drunk thy sweet salt tears, and though thou pour more, I'll depart. My picture vanished, vanish fears that I can be endamaged by that art. Though thou retain of me one picture more, yet that will be, being in thine own heart, from all malice free. The Bait. Come, live with me, and be my love, and we will some new pleasures prove, of golden sands and crystal brooks, with silken lines and silver hooks. There will the river whispering run, warmed by thy eyes more than the sun, and there the enamoured fish will stay, begging themselves they may betray. When thou wilt swim in that live bath, each fish, which every channel hath, will amorously to thee swim, gladder to catch thee than thou him. If thou, to be so seen, be'st loth, by sun or moon thou darkenest both, and if myself have leave to see, I need not their light, having thee. Let others freeze with angling rods, and cut their legs with shells and weeds, or treacherously poor fish beset with strangling snares or windowy net. Let coarse bold hands from slimy nest the bedded fish in banks outrest, or curious traitors, sleeve silk flies, bewitch poor fishes' wandering eyes. For thee thou needst no such deceit, for thou thyself art thine own bait. That fish that is not catched thereby, alas, is wiser far than I. The Apparition. When by thy scorn, O murderess, I am dead, and that thou think'st thee free from all solicitation from me, then shall my ghost come to thy bed, and thee feigned vestal in worse arms shall see. Then thy sick taper will begin to wink, and he, whose thou art then, being tired before, will, if thou stir or pinch to wake him, think thou call'st for more, and in full sleep will from thee shrink. And then, poor aspen wretch, neglected thou, bathed in a cold quicksilver sweat, wilt lie a verier ghost than I. What I will say I will not tell thee now, lest that preserve thee, and since my love is spent, I'd rather thou shouldst painfully repent, than by my threatenings rest still innocent. The Broken Heart. He is stark mad whoever says that he hath been in love an hour, yet not that love so soon decays, but that it can 10 in less space devour. Who will believe me if I swear that I have had the plague a year? Who would not laugh at me if I should say I saw a flask of powder burn a day? Ah, what a trifle is a heart, if once into love's hands it come! All other griefs allow a part to other griefs, and ask themselves but some. They come to us, but us love draws. He swallows us, and never chaws. By him, as by chain shot, whole ranks do die. He is the tyrant pike, our hearts the fry. If 'twere not so, what did become of my heart when I first saw thee? I brought a heart into the room, but from the room I carried none with me. If it had gone to thee, I know mine would have taught thine heart to show more pity unto me, but love, alas, at one first blow did shiver it as glass. Yet nothing can to nothing fall, nor any place be empty quite. Therefore I think my breast hath all those pieces still, though they be not unite. And now, as broken glasses show 100 lesser faces, so my rags of heart can like, wish, and adore, but after one such love can love no more. A valediction, forbidding mourning. As virtuous men pass mildly away, and whisper to their souls to go, whilst some of their sad friends do say, the breath goes now, and some say, no. So let us melt, and make no noise, no tear floods, nor sigh tempests move. 'Twere profanation of our joys to tell the laity our love. Moving of the earth brings harms and fears, men reckon what it did and meant, but trepidation of the spheres, though greater far, is innocent. Dull sublunary lovers' love, whose soul is sense, cannot admit absence, because it doth remove those things which elemented it. But we, by a love so much refined, that ourselves know not what it is, interassured of the mind, care less eyes, lips, and hands to miss. Our two souls, therefore, which are one, though I must go, endure not yet a breach, but an expansion, like gold to airy thinness beat. If they be two, they are two so, as stiff twin compasses are two. Thy soul, the fixed foot, makes no show to move, but doth, if the other do. And though it in the centre sit, yet when the other far doth roam, it leans and hearkens after it, and grows erect as that comes home. Such wilt thou be to me, who must, like the other foot, obliquely run. Thy firmness makes my circle just, and makes me end where I begun. The Ecstasy. Where, like a pillow on a bed, a pregnant bank swelled up to rest, the violet's reclining head, sat we two, one another's best. Our hands were firmly cemented with a fast balm which thence did spring. Our eye-beams twisted and did thread our eyes upon one double string. So to intergraft our hands as yet was all the means to make us one, and pictures in our eyes to get was all our propagation. As twixt two equal armies fate suspends uncertain victory, our souls, which to advance their state were gone out, hung twixt her and me. And whilst our souls negotiate there, we like sepulchral statues lay. All day the same our postures were, and we said nothing all the day. If any, so by love refined, that he soul's language understood, and by good love were grown all mind, within convenient distance stood, he, though he knew not which soul spake, because both meant, both spake the same, might thence a new concoction take, and part far purer than he came. This ecstasy doth unperplex, we said, and tell us what we love. We see by this it was not sex, we see we saw not what did move, but as all several souls contain mixture of things they know not what, love these mixed souls doth mix again, and makes both one, each this and that. A single violet transplant, the strength, the colour, and the size, all which before was poor and scant, redoubles still and multiplies, when love with one another so inanimates two souls, that abler soul which thence doth flow defects of loneliness controls. We then, who are this new soul, know of what we are composed and made, for the atomies of which we grow are souls whom no change can invade. But, oh, alas! so long, so far, our bodies, why do we forbear? They are ours, though they are not we. We are the intelligences, they the sphere. We owe them thanks, because they thus did us to us at first convey, yielded their forces sense to us, nor are dross to us, but allay. On man heaven's influence works not so, but that it first imprints the air, so soul into the soul may flow, though it to body first repair, as our blood labours to beget spirits as like souls as it can, because such fingers need to knit that subtle knot which makes us man, so must pure lovers' souls descend to affections and to faculties, which sense may reach and apprehend, else a great prince in prison lies. To our bodies turn we then, that so weak men on love revealed may look. Love's mysteries in souls do grow, but yet the body is his book. And if some lover such as we have heard this dialogue of one, let him still mark us, he shall see small change when we are to bodies gone. Love's deity. I long to talk with some old lover's ghost, who died before the god of love was born. I cannot think that he, who then loved most, sunk so low as to love one which did scorn. But since this god produced a destiny, and that vice nature custom lets it be, I must love her that loves not me. Sure, they which made him god meant not so much, nor he in his young godhead practised it. But when an even flame two hearts did touch, his office was indulgently to fit actives to passives. Correspondency only his subject was. It cannot be love till I love her that loves me. But every modern god will now extend his vast prerogative as far as Jove, to rage, to lust, to write to commend, all is the purlieu of the god of love. Oh, were we wakened by this tyranny to engod this child again, it could not be. I should love her who loves not me. Rebel and atheist too, why murmur I, as though I felt the worst that love could do? Love might make me leave loving, or might try a deeper plague to make her love me too, which, since she loves before, I am loath to see. Falsehood is worse than hate, and that must be if she whom I love should love me. Love's diet. To what a cumbersome unwieldiness and burdenous corpulence my love had grown! But that I did to make it less, and keep it in proportion, give it a diet, made it feed upon that which love worst endures, discretion. Above one sigh a day I allowed him not, of which my fortune and my faults had part. And if sometimes by stealth he got a she-sigh from my mistress' heart, and thought to feast on that, I let him see 'twas neither very sound nor meant to me. If he wrung from me a tear, I brined it so with scorn or shame that him it nourished not. If he sucked hers, I let him know 'twas not a tear which he had got. His drink was counterfeit, as was his meat, for eyes which roll towards all weep not, but sweat. Whatever he would dictate, I writ that, but burnt my letters. When she writ to me, and that favour made him fat, I said, if any title be conveyed by this, what doth it avail to be the 40th name in an entail? Thus I reclaimed my buzzard love, to fly at what and when and how and where I choose. Now negligent of sport I lie, and now, as other faulconers use, I spring a mistress, swear, write, sigh, and weep, and the game killed or lost, go talk and sleep. The will. Before I sigh my last gasp, let me breathe, great love, some legacies. Here I bequeath mine eyes to Argus, if mine eyes can see. If they be blind, then, love, I give them thee. My tongue to fame, to ambassadors mine ears, to women or the sea my tears. Thou, love, hast taught me heretofore, by making me serve her who had 20 more, that I should give to none but such as had too much before. My constancy I to the planets give, my truth to them who at the court do live, mine ingenuity and openness to Jesuits, to buffoons my pensiveness, my silence to any who abroad hath been, my money to a Capuchin. Thou, love, taught'st me by appointing me to love there where no love received can be, only to give to such as have an incapacity. My faith I give to Roman Catholics, all my good works unto the schismatics of Amsterdam, my best civility and courtship to an university, my modesty I give to soldiers bear, my patience let gamesters share. Thou, love, taught'st me by making me love her that holds my love disparity, only to give to those that count my gift indignity. I give my reputation to those which were my friends, mine industry to foes. To schoolmen I bequeath my doubtfulness, my sickness to physicians or excess, to nature all that I in rhyme have writ, and to my company my wit. Thou, love, by making me adore her who begot this love in me before, taught'st me to make as though I gave when I did but restore. To him for whom the passing bell next tolls, I give my physic books, my written rolls of moral counsels I to Bedlam give, my brazen medals unto them which live in want of bread, to them which pass among all foreigners mine English tongue. Thou, love, by making me love one who thinks her friendship a fit portion for younger lovers, dost my gifts thus disproportion. Therefore I'll give no more, but I'll undo the world by dying, because love dies too. Then all your beauties will be no more worth than gold in mines when none doth draw it forth, and all your graces no more use shall have than a sun‐dial in a grave. Thou, love, taught'st me by making me love her who doth neglect both me and thee, to invent and practice this one way, to annihilate all three. The Funeral. Whoever comes to shroud me, do not harm nor question much that subtle wreath of hair which crowns my arm. The mystery, the sign, you must not touch, for 'tis my outward soul, viceroy to that which then to heaven being gone, will leave this to control and keep these limbs her provinces from dissolution. For if the sinewy thread my brain lets fall through every part, can tie those parts and make me one of all. These hairs which upward grew, and strength and art have from a better brain can better do it, except she meant that I by this should know my pain, as prisoners then are manacled when they are condemned to die. Whate'er she meant by it, bury it with me, for since I am love's martyr, it might breed idolatry if into other hands these relics came, as 'twas humility to afford to it all that a soul can do, so 'tis some bravery that since you would save none of me, I bury some of you. The Blossom. Little think'st thou, poor flower, whom I have watched 6 or 7 days, and seen thy birth, and seen what every hour gave to thy growth, thee to this height to raise, and now dost laugh and triumph on this bough. Little think'st thou that it will freeze anon, and that I shall to‐morrow find thee fallen, or not at all. Little think'st thou, poor heart, that labourest yet to nestle thee, and think'st by hovering here to get apart in a forbidden or forbidding tree, and hopest her stiffness by long siege to bow. Little think'st thou that thou to‐morrow, ere that sun doth wake, must with this sun and me a journey take. But thou, which lov'st to be subtle to plague thyself, wilt say, alas, if you must go, what's that to me? Here lies my business, and here I will stay. You go to friends, whose love and means present various content to your eyes, ears, and tongue, and every part. If then your body go, what need you a heart? Well, then, stay here. But know, when thou hast stayed and done thy most, a naked thinking heart that makes no show is to a woman but a kind of ghost. How shall thee know my heart, or having none know thee for one. Practice may make her know some other part, but take my word, she doth not know a heart. Meet me at London then, 20 days hence, and thou shalt see me fresher and more fat by being with men than if I had stayed still with her and thee. For God's sake, if you can, be you so too. I would give you there to another friend, whom we shall find as glad to have my body as my mind. The Primrose, being at Montgomery Castle, upon the hill on which it is situate. Upon this Primrose Hill, where, if heaven would distil a shower of rain, each several drop might go to his own primrose, and grow manna so; and where their form and their infinity make a terrestrial galaxy, as the small stars do in the sky, I walk to find a true love, and I see that 'tis not a mere woman that is she, but must or more or less than woman be. Yet know I not which flower I wish, a 6 or 4, for should my true love less than woman be, she were scarce anything, and then should she be more than woman, she would get above all thought of sex, and think to move my heart to study her, and not to love. Both these were monsters. Since there must reside falsehood in woman, I could more abide she were by art than nature falsified. Live, Primrose, then, and thrive with thy true number 5, and women whom this flower doth represent, with this mysterious number be content. 10 is the farthest number. If half 10 belong unto each woman, then each woman may take half us men. Or if this will not serve their turn, since all numbers are odd or even, and they fall first into this, 5 women may take us all. The Relic. When my grave is broke up again, some second guest to entertain, for graves have learnt that woman head to be to more than one a bed, and he that digs it spies a bracelet of bright hair about the bone. Will he not let us alone, and think that there a loving couple lies, who thought that this device might be some way to make their souls at the last busy day meet at this grave and make a little stay? If this fall in a time or land where misdevotion doth command, then he that digs us up will bring us to the bishop and the king to make us relics. Then thou shalt be a Mary Magdalene, and I a something else thereby. All women shall adore us, and some men. And since at such time miracles are sought, I would have that age by this paper taught what miracles we harmless lovers wrought. First we loved well and faithfully, yet knew not what we loved nor why. Difference of sex no more we knew than our guardian angels do. Coming and going we perchance might kiss, but not between those meals. Our hands ne'er touched the seals which nature injured by late law sets free. These miracles we did, but now, alas, all measure and all language I would pass, should I tell what a miracle she was. End of Section 16